What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Big Thing. Happy Thanksgiving. It's over. I hope you stuffed your faces. You got the gravy. You got the turkey. You're eating. You're in the food coma, and you're watching this show, and I appreciate that you're doing just that. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. The Superman casting. Oh, I'm excited. Why? Because I can say I was right. I picked it. I sat on this very, very stage. That's what I'll call it, a stage with my friends Winston and Coy, and they didn't think I was going to be right. But I was right, and we'll talk about that. Besides just those, the big three being cast, we also have some Jimmy Olsen, Tessmacher was cast. There's some more. Michael Rooker might be in the mix for some stuff. And switching away from DC and going into Marvel, The Marvels had a post-credit scene, and we'll spoil that, so be ready for that. And we're going to talk about one of the characters in that scene said some things, so we will discuss. Loki. Well, Loki Season 2 had an alternate ending. We'll discuss to see how important that was. There's a lot of other things we're going to talk about. There's a lot of other potential casting out there. There's the Fantastic Four stuff going on. There's a lot of different things. And we'll get to all of it. So we thank you for joining us. Look at right there. You hit that button. You see that thing swirling around? Well, we're going to get to 200,000 faster than we got to 100. Why? Because you guys, when you come in here, you hit that button and you're part of the ride. And you want to be part of the ride? You want to laugh your balls off or anything else that you might have? How about this? When you come on over to The Big Thing Comedy Tour. That's right. Everybody. You don't have to have balls to come and watch it. Anybody can come. Hell, bring your dogs, bring your cats, and come see The Big Thing at Flappers Comedy Club. We will be there, and I will not let Archie in the door. All right. So thank you for joining us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. It's Capes and Cowls. It's me, Winston and Coy. Let's do it. Capes and Cowls, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Kristian Harloff, Winston A. Marshall, Coy Jandreau, all of us.
You ready for fisticuffs? What the f?
Always ready for fisticuffs.
I'm
on the internet.
Oh.
No, I did. That's my autopilot. That's where I land. I come out.
Have you seen him on Twitter?
Yeah, this is the internet. This is what I deal with.
This is what you do.
Even our comment board knows how much I love the internet as an entity.
You jacked, but the part of me sometimes wonders if you got all the muscles but don't know what to do with it.
Sometimes depends on who. Yeah.
You're embracing it now, and I know you are because I saw a comment the other day, and I looked at it and I said, "No, you see, Coy would like this." And the comment said, "Look, I know Coy's not for everybody, but I like him." And I was like, Coy loves that comment.
I do, because I'm not for everybody. If you're for everybody, you failed. I mean, you have no personality. Like, if you're for everyone, you have no defining features.
I know he's not for everybody.
Oh, man, I love that. That's
The
great.
Rock is for everybody.
No, people hate The Rock. When he started doing badly, people celebrate.
Do more people hate The Rock or do more people hate you think? But not
to scale?
Not to scale.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, there's probably tens of thousands that hate him because millions more know him.
It's for everybody. I'm not going to let y'all
There
do
are some
this.
people that hate Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure. Some people accuse Tom Hanks of things. And
But then I don't know if y'all watch the Boondocks, but then there's stink meaner, and they just hate the world.
But that's what I'm saying.
There are. That's what we're saying. It's just a matter of ratio.
I don't trust anybody that has no enemies.
Well, I mean, Cat Williams said that best. He was like, haters mean that you're doing something right. And,
Yeah.
he even said, he was like, if you got haters and you don't like them, tell them, feel free to hate on me. I have 10 haters
The
tonight.
player
I
haters
want
ball
100
is
by
a
tomorrow.
celebration. A player haters ball, let's get cat.
Thank you.
But I would argue, like, if you are saying so little that no one can, like, have a defining love or hate of you, then you're kind of like, what are you doing? Like, why are you out there talking?
Yeah, here's an example. Someone who doesn't have a lot of enemies that is great is Brett. But some people don't like Brett.
Really?
Some people don't like Brett.
You know who's probably hard to hate? Mark Ellis is like, what a delight.
I've seen people hate him too.
I know people that
Really?
hate
So
him.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
right, of course.
They don't make sense to me.
No, it defies logic.
Mark Ellis might be the nicest human being in the world.
And as he gets more successful, he gets kinder. Like, I've met no one who's like, I'm going to succeed more and somehow find more warmth.
Nah, he's a very
He's a
good person.
delight. His Coors Light thing's the only thing I don't like about him.
I'm not going to say anything nice about him anymore. Fucking. All right, so let's move. We have so much to talk about.
Still got his crock pot.
I know. I got to get that. I was getting sick of it being in the background. These people thought that I was a fan. And I'm like, no.
You were advertising effectively.
No, and I can embrace how terrible the Giants are this year, but I can also embrace that they beat them twice this year. So,
dude, that's embarrassing for them because they're definitely the third. You guys are definitely the worst team, and they're the third best, and they got embarrassed by you
twice.
That's 2 of their only wins.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. It's the best. Mark couldn't even keep going in the texting.
I already told him that he better keep his phone on. I guess this is being recorded in the past for the future, but I told him
for the game
that's yesterday. Happening yesterday.
So you might not be in a good mood
about it when it actually when this airs.
I think your mood will be fine. Anyway, so my mood's good, guys, because you guys. I think it was you, Winston, who said you didn't see it.
That's not what I said.
I'm going to go back and check the tape.
Check the tape.
Check the tape.
I definitely said that I thought that he could have done either one.
Yeah.
And I think I said I would maybe prefer seeing him as Luthor because I haven't seen him play a villain. I've seen him as Beast.
He's been a bad guy before.
I just don't remember seeing him as one.
Yeah.
So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember. I just also wanted him to have his moment in the sun, no pun intended.
It well earned because dude's been number 2 for how many giant properties?
Well, let's go to the actual
describe what we're talking about.
Yeah, please. Superman Legacy adds X-Men Dark Phoenix star. How you put Dark Phoenix in there?
That's so rude.
Cold.
Come on.
Because you're not going to say Renfield.
Josh Wilding.
I'm gonna do this again. Superman Legacy adds Days of Future Past star Nicholas Hoult as the villainous Lex Luthor. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Rumor has it he was among the actors who auditioned for the role of Kal-El himself, but it's now being reported that the X-Men actor Nicholas Hoult is going from playing Marvel's Beast to the DCU's Lex Luthor. So we expected this might happen, but Deadline is now reporting that James Gunn has found Superman Legacy's Lex Luthor in British actor Nicholas Hoult. The Hollywood Reporter says no deal is done just yet. An official announcement from DC Studios CEO isn't necessarily imminent, however, it is looking good. While he's thought to have been among the actors who auditioned to play Man of Steel, after previously missing out on playing the Batman's Dark Knight for Matt Reeves, Gunn must have seen something a little bit more villainous in the X-Men First Class star. There you go. No stranger to comic book adaptations, after starring in X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, Holt's other credits are Mad Max Fury Road.
Nuts, man. Witness.
Yep. The Menu and The Great. We never did get a definitive list of Lex Luthor's candidates for Superman Legacy, though Holt's name previously came up alongside Alexander Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård. Daniel Craig's name also did the rounds at one point. Now he follows in the footsteps of actors such as Gene Hackman, Kevin Spacey, Jesse Eisenberg on the big screen, and the likes of Michael Rosenbaum, John Cryer, and Michael Cudlitz on television. Very little known is what role Luthor is going to play, though Brainiac is rumored to be the reboot's big bad. If that's correct, then the sinister android could be on Gunn's list to cast. Still, even if there is a supporting role, we're sure that Hoult will have a big role to play in the DCU moving forward. Of course, the biggest question is, will Holt's Lex have hair or be bald when we meet him? That remains to be seen. Superman Legacy tells the story of Superman's journey, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so I guess, and then let's stay here. Let's stay with him because I didn't give him enough love when I brought this up the other day because it was right around the same time when they announced Jimmy and Miss Tessmacher. So I love this casting. I love I actually prefer him to play this role than Superman. I just didn't see it at all. When you see him in the bald fan art, it just looks like a dapper with the bald head, and I know he can play dark. He's done it a lot of different times before. I think he does in The Great.
There's a darkness to him, and The Menu.
And The Menu for sure, but he's definitely, and there's another role that he's played. I can't remember what it was, and I feel like it's time period too. Oh, what was it was the one shoot. Oh, it was the one with Rachel farts. I can't remember the name of it. But he's done another period piece, and he was not a great guy in that one too. And I just can't place the movie.
He's got a lot of presence, and I'm really excited to see. I didn't realize how tall and he's got stature, and I'm excited to see that on display because he's as Beast he's kind of bounding around and he doesn't really get the opportunity to show that. And I think as Nux he was intentionally very skinny because the character's dying and withering away. I think he's got a lot of presence in general we haven't gotten to see, and I think this is a really good opportunity for his time in the sun just to be more of a household name, but for him also to get to flex a muscle that he hasn't really had the opportunity to. So I think he's played villains and stuff, but I think a big commanding, I would argue Lex is number 2 only to Joker as the big bad of DC. So I'm really excited for this.
I actually hope that I hope that he gets like seriously jacked for it, because in most iterations of Lex, typically because he's so pissed off about Superman and so insecure, the only person that's like a regular human that's in better shape than him is like Bruce.
Sure.
He goes out of his way, and then to that point, depending on what iteration you're talking about, he's hitting himself with like a kryptonite cocktail to like both like A, have a little bit in his blood so he can hurt Superman a little bit, but also B, it's mixed with like other steroids and crap to like get. So I hope that like he gets the chance to like get super jacked like that and be menace, because the thing about Lex, obviously the more menacing part of him is his mind and how evil he is, but there is something to be said about somebody who, there's a reason why, even though Kingpin always kind of looks like he's fat,
right? But there's muscle and weight under there.
You're like, oh god, you're actually like, Tyson Fury. Yeah, and I want
exactly. Tyson Fury is exactly Kingpin. But I want this guy to be like filling out a suit and like carry himself like he does. I'd love to see a President Lex run.
That's kind of why I thought Gene Hackman did an incredible job, because I finally watched the whole Superman's.
I think he's the worst Superman. I mean, there's Lex Luthor.
I love Miss Lex. I love Miss Lex.
He's not my favorite.
That's not fair.
He's not my favorite version of Lex, because it's very similar to Cesar Romano as Joker. It's not my favorite version of Joker. It's a little too goofy for me, but I still thought they did an incredible job.
I love Lex. I love Gene Hackman. He's my Lex Luthor because I grew up with him.
Of course.
And I actually think that he does play it in like the Donner version that wasn't kind of camped up. When you watch that full thing, I don't know. I love his performance. Who's your favorite so far?
Rosenbaum by a lot.
Yeah,
Michael Rosenbaum is incredible.
I think that's fair for TV, because he
had a long form. He had a long time to play, and I think he's the only kind that has.
Yeah,
it was for me because my Lex and my Joker. It's Mark Hamill, and then God, it's not Rosenbaum that plays him.
No, ironically, Rosenbaum plays Flash.
He plays Flash. I'm trying to remember who. Oh my God, very iconic voice. Oh my God, I'm gonna get flamed for this. I'm just gonna look it up because.
Don't say that. Who? So where is it?
Like Justice League, the Superman animated series. Who did the voice of Lex? That's the kind of tone attitude of Lex to me. That's what I grew up on.
It's very like laissez-faire. He like tossed it aside. He's like hyper confident.
He has outthought everything, and the only times you see him lose it.
Is it Clancy Brown?
Thank you. It's Clancy Brown. That's exactly who it is. I wasn't gonna Clancy Brown is in the same way that I love even Heath Ledger. My Joker, honestly, is Mark Hamill. It's the same way with Clancy Brown. He is the epitome of Lex Luthor and what he brings to it. I get it's an animation, but there is still something there.
Sure. Clancy Brown's probably one of my favorite interviews of all time.
Really?
It was one of my first one-on-ones that I did on Collider.
Nice.
I love that dude.
He's the man.
He's the man.
He was great in Gen V.
Yeah,
while
we had him.
I feel like, and he was in Ahsoka. He pops up in everything. That guy he should be working forever.
To be honest, that even though I know the Lex side of it was kind of more Giancarlo Esposito, being at the top of Vought, it felt like Clancy was bringing Lex Luthor to the Gen V world. He did it.
Yeah. Sure, he was great in it. Absolutely. I think that Nicholas Hoult, and this is kind of I think what I'm going to title the whole video right now, because I'm sure people are going to be like, we haven't seen the movie yet, but I don't care. I think so far this might be the best casting of a Superman movie so far. I think this.
I agree. Yeah, I'll join in that.
I think casting wise, I'm going to even write. Is this the best casting for a Superman film yet? Because Corenswet, Rachel.
Dude, that picture of him in the gym.
Corenswet, Rachel Brosnohan, Nicholas Hoult is kind of the big three.
And then,
and then
have we talked about it?
Not yet. We'll do it now.
Excited.
This is one that was rumored, and now we're able to talk about this one. Both Jimmy Olsen and Miss Tessmacher. Now, Coy and Winston, I was going to ask you this because I asked Mike this the other day, and he thinks he knew the answer, but he doesn't know for sure. Was Miss Tessmacher, was she made up for the Donner movies?
For Donner.
Yeah. She's in the comics
just
now.
Looked it up.
Now. That's what Mike said.
Yeah.
Mike said the same thing. Okay, let me see. Okay, Superman Legacy, James Gunn confirms Jimmy Olsen and Eve Tessmacher casting. But what about Lex? Superman Legacy, James Gunn has confirmed that he's cast Jimmy Olsen and Eve Tessmacher in the upcoming DC reboot. But why is there still no mention of Nicholas Hoult's villainous Lex Luthor? I'll give you the answer, because he didn't tweet it out first, and he doesn't like when people break it before he does. Yesterday evening, the news broke that Superman Legacy has added Portuguese Victoria's Secret model Sarah Sampaio as Eve Tessmacher, with the Righteous Gemstones actor Skylar Gazondo, set to play Jimmy Olsen, a role that many fans say he was born to play. Since then, filmmaker James Gunn has taken to Instagram confirming their casting in a post that reads, "After auditioning hundreds of folks for both these roles, we finally found perfect fits with Skylar and Sarah. Can't wait for you to see them in action in the summer of 25. They've also reacted to joining the new DCU, with Simpeo saying, "I can finally share the best news ever. It doesn't feel real. Thank you, James Gunn, for trusting me with Eve." Gisondo, meanwhile, would add, "So grateful to James Gunn and DC for this incredible opportunity. Stoked for the adventure." Telling Gunn has made no mention of Nicholas Hoult's Lex Luthor. Earlier this week, it was reported that he'd been tapped to play the iconic DC comic supervillain, although some outlets later said he was simply in final talks. Clearly, the deal isn't done, meaning Superman Legacy doesn't have its Lex yet. Check out these social posts regarding the movie's latest casting auditions below. So this is what This is what actually I think happened, as much as I make that joke about James Gunn. I think this is exactly what happened. I think they're in final talks. I think the agency leaked it.
Yeah.
And I think then they started to say, look, everybody loves Nicholas Hoult. They love it. Pony up just a little bit more. And then he's yours. All you got to do is, if you do this is all we're asking for. It might look like a lot, but you look at the response the internet's going to, I don't know who leaked it. I don't know.
That is...
And James Gunn knows this happening. He talked about it on Rose and Mom's podcast. Speaking of which.
It is a negotiating tactic, but it is a dangerous one because you're trying to go for a long-term deal here for the character. And if you're starting off on that foot of kind of being like, I will push you around.
It's the agency, though. The actor can get away with it.
I get it. No, the actor is fine. But like, to that point, if this is who I'm negotiating with,
do I want to deal with that for 10 years?
Bad taste in my mouth.
Right.
Like, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll get the role. Like, we just talked about it. He seems perfect for it. That's an interesting move for, if it was a one movie deal, fine. I have a feeling he's about to be this dude for 10 years.
I know. Yeah. It's Coy, do you think that's pretty much what happened?
I think that it's unique to know this much about any movie because of the scrutiny this is under. I think Superman Legacy is probably the most important comic movie since Endgame, and Endgame took 23 movies to lead up to it.
I don't explain why. I think I know why, but can you explain why?
I think that Warner Brothers is uniquely positioned to fail without this IP. I think they don't have their ducks in a row for Harry Potter yet. I think they don't have their ducks in a row with the public at all. I think that people are mad at WB they kind of represent everything wrong with the studio system. So I think they're counting on Superman Legacy not just to start a shared universe, which is enough weight in itself, not just to reignite the DC brand, but to fix Warner Brothers. Right. So I think as much as Endgame was keeping the big behemoth that Marvel is, I think WB is putting everything into Superman Legacy, and it's movie 1, not movie 23. So right. I think it's a hard and fast tactic, but I think that they know they're trapped in a corner. I think this movie the reason it's the best cast Superman movie is because they don't have an option. Like, this movie has to be exceptional.
Yeah, they're trying to get
if this fails, then the universe fails.
Someone like Nicholas Hoult is a
genius,
absolute wonderful actor. I mean, he's just a really great actor. Good-looking kid, good actor, versatile as hell. Mm-hmm. Perfect for the role.
Presence for days. Have you interviewed him?
I've not, but
we've met at a couple like things that are like casual, and every time I'm struck by like
presence.
A big movie star. Like he's got that
thing. He's got that thing, and he has presence.
But I haven't seen that. I see it in The Great, but it's comedy. I haven't seen him get to be the guy that he is in life yet, and he's so kind, and usually people that are kind play great villains, so I really want to see him turn that gravitas into malice.
Because you know what's so interesting, the only other person I was thinking of that I would love to have seen as Lex that was really off the top of my head, and it's less to do with his own superhero role, though I guess it's technically a superhero movie, was James McAvoy. I thought that he actually would have been a great Lex, and what's tapping that for me is like it's partially Xavier, but it's mainly Split. Split was so well done, and like he had some of those like kind of Lex tendencies and some of those personalities. He's the only one I was thinking about, and I love the fact that in this case, instead of him essentially trumping, because it really was more those last X-Men movies, the reboot, that was way more Xavier and Magneto than it was any of the other X-Men.
Yeah. He didn't have a chance to shine for sure. But the thing I think that what I like about it, because if you go down a McAvoy road or a Fassbender road or something like that, you could land with, that person would be great too. What I like about Hoult also is that he's closer to age at Corenswet.
I think they're going to do the canon that they grew up together by this casting. Okay. I think it's not going to be an older Lex, and I don't think it's going to be like them meeting as they're adults like Snyder did. I think it will be the 50s storyline, and then Smallville used that, where Ma and Pa Kent are alive. They grew up together. He feels betrayed. So not only is it Clark Kent betraying Lex Luthor, but then Superman, the concept of the alien, betrays Lex Luthor, which gives way more weight to the character's rivalry. If you let 20 years of history show up in the acting on screen, we feel we're already invested in these characters more.
Yeah, and I think that when you go to I'm not familiar with the actress for Miss Tessmacher, but that's why I brought it up also when it comes to Miss Tessmacher, is that I remember the character very well from the Donner movies, right? And she's got a very particular role of what she's very important in the first movie. In the first movie. Second, I don't even know.
She's the only reason Superman lives.
In the first movie. Yeah. She's very important in that movie.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. But so I wonder, and I hope that they don't do that with her. I hope that she's just with Lex, and that's it.
It's it's interesting because I would have much preferred to have seen, and she might still show up as Mercy Graves. Personally,
I think that's the long game. I think she's someone that you build to.
Yeah, because she could even be there early on, and they just haven't announced it yet. But because Mercy has some romantic ties occasionally with Lex, but the main thing is just being his enforcer, and there's something about her that is very, even though she can't do anything to stop Superman, but there's something about having her around that gives Lex a little bit more oomph.
Sure.
So, because Tessmacher, for me, it immediately jumps to Otis, and it just feels goofy.
Yeah.
And
Whereas this, I don't think will go that direction at all, because
so, yeah.
I also love her name being Taskmaster, effectively, but with Fred Jackson.
But this does go back to our conversation.
Have you seen it spelled out? No. It literally is Taskmaster with EU instead of it's literally one of the most comic-y names ever. And I was laughing about it, then I was like, wait, the guy that cast as Lex is literally Gene Hackman. That's just as absurd a name. But Taskmaster. But can I be excited about Jimmy Olsen for a second?
Yeah,
because
of course.
I think I said it on New Rockstars, and I'm going to double down here. I think this is the DC's Downey Jr. level casting.
Wow.
I have not seen anyone that looks more like a comic character, that feels more like a comic character, that embodies a comic character. This is some Ryan Reynolds Deadpool-ish. This is they pulled him from the page and they went, hey, this guy doesn't say friend, he says pal. This is Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. Not his friend, not his buddy. This is a guy that can have his miniseries about hijinks. This is a guy that they can slap a whole crazy, otherworldly story on, and I'll buy, because he looks like someone that says golly gee and shucks. Yeah. And it adds that lighthearted wonder to the movie just by the casting.
It does.
And it's as a guy that loved Jimmy Olsen growing up, I'm so relieved that it's a guy that looks and more importantly acts like he's gonna care about every photo, and Clark Kent being happy. It's so good. So stoked.
I don't know if I can even say it on the show, but the way you're describing this kid, I'm he's out here just making love. And he's you know what I'm saying? He's just gee, golly, that was a good time.
And I love that. I'm so excited for that. He's perfect.
It does say what you will about James Gunn, which we're all fans on this show, but he certainly has his naysayers, if you will.
He's earned his enemies.
It is very hard for even his enemies to say that this man does not know how to cast films.
Absolutely.
I completely agree.
He's one of the best. Because he's very. People are, I didn't cast the Guardians. He did. He had a lot. He master class.
Yeah, master class. I realize that's an app, but he master classed it.
Absolutely, he did. And he does use people in his movies that he's used before. And we've got another potential rumor in a second about someone he might use again. And I'm all for it, to be honest. And I just saw this person in where were we? We were going to. I think we were going to New York. Yeah, I was going to New York. We had arrived in New York, and I saw the person we'll talk about very soon. But I think the casting so far is brilliant. I think Corenswet's brilliant. I think Brosnohan, and if it is indeed Nicholas Hoult, which I believe it will be.
I got in crap on this show for saying how important Lois Lane is. Remember that we made that short, and so many people were like, she's not that important to Superman. Jimmy Olsen is likewise as important as Lex Luthor, and it's written.
Well, it's his humanity.
Exactly, it's his eye line. We need the eye line into the world of the Clark Kent that we're getting, and I think one of the reasons I didn't connect as strongly to what Zack Snyder's version of Superman was I didn't feel the relationship between Amy Adams as strongly as I did in other iterations, and I certainly didn't feel shoot him in the face Jimmy Olsen as a connection. So I love that we're getting not only this masterful cast, but we're also getting a character that shows us the tone. Because you don't cast Skylar Gisaldo, I think that's how you say his name.
You'll know it soon enough.
We'll hear it everywhere soon.
Yeah.
But you don't cast him if you're not doing this tone of Superman. And that shows, that's probably the most tonally marking of what the cast is.
It's a great point. It shows you exactly what they're going for.
Yeah.
It shows you like they're going back to what Superman was. And it's like, I always disagreed with people saying, "Oh, people don't want it." The reason why Superman Returns didn't do very well is because no one wants to see the Boy Scout anymore and the ultra good guy. No, they wanted to see a better movie.
They also, they didn't want to see Superman having an illegitimate child, or not an illegitimate, a child he didn't know about that he like discovered later. Like,
and people also gave it, well, it was a direct sequel and it shouldn't have been a direct sequel. I don't agree with that either.
Problems.
I like Kate Bosworth. She was a terrible Lois Lane. She had no chemistry with him whatsoever. She wasn't putting anything really into it as well. Cal Penn doesn't even say a word in the whole entire movie.
Who is he?
Yeah,
I haven't seen
Cal
it.
Penn's in Superman?
Cal Penn is like Lex Luthor's. He's like Lex.
Is he
Luthor's
Otis?
like
He's the Otis?
kind of, but he literally. I think he says if he says one word, I'd be surprised. If he says one word,
And I like Brandon Routh. That's
fine.
a great
Brandon
example
Routh's
of a
fine.
movie that's cast well
Yes.
but didn't perform.
And the airplane scene is the best part of that whole entire movie. And then I don't even remember the ending of it, but it's just like that was not cast very well. It wasn't directed very well. It wasn't written very well. So that entire thing could have been handled differently in the same type of tone because Brandon Routh's tone was great. I really, and I did want to see Henry Cavill play the hopeful version of Superman. He wanted
Black
to play
Adam
it.
post-credit scene
He
was the
wanted
best
to play it.
Superman I saw Henry
know.
Cavill get
And he,
to do.
He wanted to do it. So, all right, before you comments.
Well, I was just going to back up what you're saying about not wanting to see the Boy Scout. I understand that the first Avenger was a very long time ago.
Right,
That was
sure.
2012.
But that was Boy Scout.
11.
11.
It was 11. But what doing that does, because you're telling the longevity of stories, you then are able to see the character arc. Is Clark able to hold on to that Boy Scout mentality and that humanity, or is the trials and tribulations he's going to go on for the next of these set of stories going to be too much for him?
Do you know why I know the world's ready for this Superman? Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good point.
That is the biggest show and what made Apple a force in streaming, and it's completely that tone.
They were always ready for it. It's just people usually come up with the wrong reasons why something doesn't work. That was always the wrong reason. Oh, people don't want to see that version of Superman. The guy that can't be hurt, yes, he can be hurt. The really good guy, I think we need really good people.
We need aspirational heroes. They shouldn't all be like us because we're not doing so great.
My only thing that, because I've never been the biggest Superman fan personally, and I've said that out loud multiple times, I just need to really see a focus because that's the thing. There's very few things that can actually physically stop Superman. Sure, Kryptonite. Okay, fine. Sure, Darkseid's strong enough to punch the crap out of him. Love can stop him.
It's true though. I just love that delivery. I was like, wait, did he just?
That's the connection.
But I think that's what we're gonna see is love. I think we're gonna see.
Yeah.
It's the old adage that it's not what Superman can do, it's what Superman should do. As long as you get that kind of storytelling and that kind of character development, this is exactly what we need.
And we saw that beautifully handled with Karen Gillan in Guardians. Like we saw an arc of like someone that's got all this power that discovers humanity, and then like it's what she wants to do to help. And I'm really excited for that.
It's for those that are it's minor spoiler for Ted Lasso because it's early in the first season, but he's going through a divorce. Right. So you're talking about somebody that is the most positive influence that anybody's seen, but going through some tremendous darkness.
Yeah.
That's how you can balance that out is you have Lois, you have Jimmy, but like if he's really going through some ish, then it really is, do you lean on how you were raised? Do you lean on the people that make you, or do you crumble?
Right.
You know?
And that's why I think Brainiac, which is the rumor, is going to be the villain, because what better way to show humanity than have an AI-esque figure? What better commentary on the Warner Brothers negotiations than having an AI figure? And what better way to go, man, I'm a little insecure in myself. This guy I grew up with, Lex Luthor, thinks I'm going to do horrible things. Oh, wait, there's this alien that's doing horrible things. I'm an alien. Have I been? And he's going to like have that ability to have that darkness, that existential crisis, while I think they're also going to use kind of like what James Gunn did with Guardians 3. This is interpretive. It might not be the reason the character was the way it was. But to me, High Evolutionary felt a lot like, well, let's just remake it until people like it, like a certain studio I know.
Yeah.
So maybe they're using AI for a certain studio I know that thinks everything should be reality TV. I don't know. Could work.
Well, listen, I do have one question for both of you guys before too, because if Brainiac fights Superman,
I will not be working for Warner Brothers or Disney anytime soon, according to my thoughts on the villains. But Winston's like, I don't want to be in that frame.
or your Twitter.
That's true. It was too late a year ago.
Normally you can fight Superman if they beat him with kryptonite. Kryptonite is traditionally color is
Green.
Like athletic greens. I'll tell you what, AG1, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. Go check out AG1, and after you're done with AG1, they hook, line, and sinker. AG1, everybody, and of course, the great people over at First Leaf. So Winston's going to need a glass of wine after that. Burn! I wasn't going to burn, you idiot. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I audibly cheered when I found out that First Leaf was coming on as a sponsor. I cheered. Why? Because I love wine. I love wine. Who doesn't love wine? I am a wine person. I've been really drinking a lot of Pinot Noirs lately, and they sent me them. They sent me one of those. They customize to what you like. Mark Riley's going to lose his mind, by the way, when he finds out that First Leaf is coming on. And they sent me, these are the ones that I got. Look at that. Clearly, the last one is empty. That's right when I got it. Anyway, First Leaf knew exactly what to send me because they gave me like a little quiz up top. And they said, what do you like? And I love them. They make it so easy to get personalized wine delivered. It's on my schedule. It's right to my door. I choose the day that my shipment comes. I'm never stressed about missing a delivery. And every selection is backed by First Leaf's 100% satisfaction guarantee. It is so good, so easy. I love it. It's great. And it's great being a member because you get to avoid the overwhelming feeling when I used to go into the aisles of the supermarkets or in the stores in general and go back and forth. And I was like, I don't know what to get. I'm not sure. I know I like this. I'm not sure if I think I like that. I like the taste of that. There had to be a better way. I got the better way. First Leaf. They match award-winning bottles to my taste, so I get just right wines in every shipment. It's wine exploration without the guesswork. If you can tell that I'm excited, you're right. I love it. Look at these. Look at the ones that I got so far. I mean, really, really good. I got the I got some Pinot. I got some stuff from Australia. I got the different blends, and I'm telling you, I'm red. I like the red. My wife likes the white. So we made sure we got a couple different ones. Now with the membership, this is the one. This is the one I've been waiting for. I love this one. I love First Leaf, and you guys will too. Give your palate what it really wants with First Leaf. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing to sign up, and you're going to get your first 6 hand-curated bottles for just $44.95. tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing. tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing. You will be thanking me. This is awesome. I always get excited when I get a chance to talk about AG1. You guys know, if you've been listening to this show long enough, you know that I've been talking about them. I've been drinking them now for, it's got to be at least 2 years. I started drinking AG1. I think Brett Sheridan told me about it. I said, you can't mess around with this, man. You got to try it. And I did. And it's a foundational nutritional supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. I've heard so many different people now talking about it since we've been talking about it on this show and how much AG1 has helped them. I talk to you guys, a lot of you guys, when we talk to do my one-on-one sessions that I do with people that go, yeah, I started doing AG1 and I love it. It gives me the energy that I need. Parents, I found new parents love this stuff. But everybody loves it. And not only for me did I replace my multivitamin with AG1 because I was never the multivitamin guy. I would try it. And I was like, everyone's telling me, you got to do multivitamins. You got to do multivitamins. And I can't do that many vitamins. 1 scoop. I put it in a water bottle. I put it in a zoo cup. I shake it up. I'm good to go. I recommended AG1 to everybody, my friends, my family, you guys, and it's worked out. It's great. I get energy. I get a pep in my step. I love AG1, and you guys know how long I've been talking about it. People still, they'll tweet, and they'll X, whatever they X me, and they say, hey, AG1, you've been talking about it forever. I'm trying it today, and they never go back. AG1 is the supplement that I trust to provide the support that my body needs daily, and that's why they've been a partner for a long time now. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. But you have to go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. drinkag1.com/bigthing. Check it out. All right, thank you to our friends over at AG1 and First Leaf. It's Christmas time, guys, coming around very, very soon. Get you guys somebody you love, an AG1 or First Leaf. I mean, come on. This bottle's the one. You get 6 curated bottles for $44 right now for that deal. Are you kidding me? It's delicious. It's delicious. Anyway,
I fell for that completely.
I did too.
I can't even look at you. right now.
It was so
upset
it was so
with
masterfully
myself.
delivered. I was like, how does he not know green? Oh, he did.
I'm sorry, Coy. I can't even look at you because I'm so mad at him.
That's
Like
fair.
that was
That's okay. I'll be over here.
that was such an uppercut, and it didn't even dawn on me. I can normally sort of see that it's coming.
Right. It's
But he was
just
just like, "What colors?" I was like, "You don't know kryptonite is green?"
no, Tyson hit you in the stomach and an uppercut before you even knew that it came.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
it's true. It's true. Gotcha. All right, let's keep going with the Superman casting.
Everybody go night night.
That's right. All right, this is a rumor. Hide the rumor mill. Put the rumor mill down. Jump around the rumor mill. Do a dance around the rumor mill. Here it comes. New Superman Legacy rumor says that Michael Rooker is going to be portraying General Sam Lane. James Gunn has responded to this rumor on Threads, declaring that it is not true. However, given their work history, we still think that Rooker is in the film. He's probably just not playing Lois Lane's father. It's also worth noting that Gunn did a similar social media debunking to lead fans to believe that the Authority would not be in the film, and then a few weeks later, Maria Gabriela de Faria was cast as Angela Spica, a.k.a. the Engineer. Jeff Snyder, longtime Hollywood film reporter, has updated his blog to report that longtime James Gunn collaborator Michael Rooker could be joining the cast of Superman Legacy. Snyder says he's in line to play General Sam Lane, and we'll see if that's the case. Like Gunn's brother, Sean, Rooker has also been in all of Gunn's films, including Slither, Super, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Belko Experiment, The Suicide Squad. Based on that track record, even if Rooker isn't playing Sam Lane, he'll have some kind of role in the film. The news comes on the heels that Hoult will be portraying Lex Luthor, yada, yada, yada. All right, so this is just I think, whether or not he plays Sam Lane or not, I think if you were going to go and make a bet,
He's in the movie.
he's in the
somewhere.
movie. Yeah, for sure.
You know who I wouldn't even hate him play? I think Sam Lane, General Lane, is better.
Don't
Right,
say Pa Kent.
No,
You gonna say
hell
Perry
no.
White? Because I was gonna say Perry White. Yeah,
White.
same.
He'd be
I
an
actually
interesting
wouldn't
Perry White.
hate Perry White
Yeah.
because it's a less
Yeah.
That
comical
warm range.
version
Yeah.
of JJ. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's still a hard ass, but like you know what I mean. He's got a little more
there's some
humanity
there's-
to him.
Yes, and
There's warmth in his rage.
yes. I love Jackie Cooper in the role. Again, growing up with it, I thought Lawrence Fishburne was also great, but a very, I thought embodied what Perry White did for everything that I knew him for. The Cooper role definitely took on the Donner tone, where there's a little bit of comedy. So it's when I was a kid, I remember loving when Non holds him up and bonks his head on the thing. And now you watch it's probably
Yeah.
as campy. But I did love it, and you're right. He cares about Clark Kent. He does. He's hard on him.
It feels
but he
like
cares about him.
it's similar energy to Yandu.
Yes.
It's
So, you know,
paternal.
I think
Yeah.
that's a great call, Winston. I think him playing. I think he could absolutely play Perry White for sure. Clean him up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's funny because he was the one I saw in New York when I was getting off the
Oh.
plane. I was just walking up and I said to because my daughter, my oldest, really liked the Guardians movies, and I said, "Honey, look, it's Yondu." She's like, "I was right there," and he was right. It was pretty cool.
Was
So
it the baby?
No, the oldest. But I have interviewed him.
He's such a sweetheart,
and
man.
he's great. And he and I got into a fun fake fist fight on the roof. Dude, he was kidding around and hit me in the ribs. That dude got a shot. He's got fun. He's been in some scraps.
Yeah, I love his presence. Like he carries himself. Like
Yeah.
even a Perry White role, if it's 10 minutes, because of that scrappiness, like it'll hold itself. It'll have weight.
He took in my interview with him. They didn't. I don't think they aired it. Maybe they did. Because it was right around Ultron, and Joss Whedon hurt his foot or something along the lines. Couldn't be there, and Michael Rooker took a shot at him, and it's just like he called him a wuss. I can't remember what he said to something. He went after him. I remember that, and I don't remember if they aired it or not. I can't remember, but it was later. But I've always liked Michael Rooker. The first thing I actually remember Michael Rooker being in, the movie that I saw when I was really, really young, was a movie with Al Pacino called Sea of Love.
Never seen it.
It's Al Pacino, Michael Rooker, and Ellen Barkin.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And John Goodman.
Oh, wow, great
also.
cast.
That's a great cast.
It's a great cast.
I've never even
And
heard it.
It's a great. Go check it out because I won't tell you what I'll tell you what it's about, but I won't tell you kind of the whole thing. Basically, Goodman and Pacino are cops, and there is a woman going around murdering murdering guys, going on dates with them, and capping them in that.
So she's essentially like a date serial killer.
Yeah, so they're investigating and they're trying to figure out who it is, and they're investigating Ellen Barkin, and so this whole thing kind of goes down. I remember it very well. I've seen it a lot of times, but I suggest watching it. But Michael Rooker was that. Cliffhanger was another one.
When I was 7 or 8, I summoned Mallrats, and that changed everything. He also looks just like Lex Luthor in that movie. Like he's in a suit, he's bald.
I think he's kind of playing Lex Luthor.
Oh, 100%. It's a very it's a comic movie, and he's playing Lex Luthor in it as
the pretzels and everything.
Chocolate covered pretzel.
Yeah, it's that's
dude. During the strike, I'd never interviewed Jason Lee, and I finally got to.
Did you really? Okay.
Finally, after all these years, and I couldn't talk about Mallrats. It broke my heart. I'm like, the reason I got into this job is because of Kevin Smith and his portrayal of Brody, like him writing Brody. And Jason Lee is literally the embodiment of like, other nerds exist. And then I finally get to interview him, like, so skateboarding's cool. Like, and it was a great interview. We had a great talk. He was appreciative to talk about other stuff. But in the back of my head the whole time, I'm like, I can't
do it off air?
Oh, we had a great talk. But the audience, I felt so bad that like I have a wealth of Mallrats knowledge that I like can't share.
No, it's true.
So we had a great talk, but like the whole time I'm like, photography, skateboarding.
What's going on with Mallrats 2?
I am in it when it happens.
But it hasn't happened.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why I know it's not moving because I'm twitching. Because like I literally played nice. Like I'm was so careful with the SAG stuff because I left SAG on good terms to do this hosting world. But I'm like gonna rejoin to be in Mallrats, and the whole strike I'm like I can't talk or do anything because I know I'm being like that's the scrutiny.
Curious. Yeah, I love that movie.
So I'm waiting on it.
So look, we talked about Superman for a lot here, man. I mean, hell, I'm not embarrassed. 45 minutes talking about Superman. Hell yeah. I mean, and it should, because as Coy said, I couldn't agree more. I think it is the most important movie that DC has probably ever made because of where they are right now. DC needs a hit. DC needs, and not only do they need a massive hit, this is the first big movie of their slate, and it's one of the most iconic characters, if not the most iconic character in comic book history. They need this movie to work. So that's why you're getting this kind of casting. Wow. What's that?
No. I'm just thinking about what you're saying, and I agree with you. And I was even thinking to myself, I was like, is this the linchpin movie, not just for DC, but for Marvel? But I guess you have Deadpool will come out before it. But those are essentially, it feels like Deadpool 3 and Superman Legacy are the two movies that will determine if superhero genre kind of will continue or if it's going to wrap up soon.
Well, I mean, look, here's the thing I said to somebody also is that because someone asked me if superhero fatigue, a question you get all the time, you know, if it's real. And I think in a certain aspect it is, but in a different reason why, right? It's not just because there's too much of it. I think it's because there's so many mediocre movies, mediocre TV shows, but like people are excited for The Boys to come back. I thought Gen V did well, but apparently it didn't.
It didn't?
So that's what people are saying.
I thought it did as well.
I thought it did also. But Invincible's doing pretty well.
Also, like people don't put Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible. How many other movies did badly this year that were being counted on? I think there's a mediocre big movie fatigue. I think that the movies
but part of the reason why that happened though, Coy, is you got to remember that like what has dominated Hollywood for the last decade and
superhero movies for sure.
So that's why it's a bigger deal when it's this. The Flash is the greatest superhero movie ever.
Sports analogy.
Oh, here it is.
It's like
had to happen.
Yeah, if the team keeps winning, it's the Bulls. They keep winning championship, and then Jordan leaves, or somebody breaks their ankle, or something happens, and the team's not good anymore. Oh, that's it. The Bulls are done. That's it. They're over. It's over. Now the Bulls haven't really climbed back since then, but there are other teams that have. There are other teams that have built back and come back and done that. So I think that. I haven't congratulated you on the air, by the way, for the Texas Rangers, because I'm going to give you a backhanded compliment here. One of the most boring teams in the world. However, they beat the Astros.
Who, the Rangers?
Yeah, dude. No one watched that series.
Well, okay, nobody watched the World Series because nobody really truly watches baseball anymore.
If you had the Dodgers versus the Yankees, it would be huge.
You would have more people paying attention.
city.
Sure,
Yeah.
I get it, but like, let's be honest. There's a reason why, and I know now we're really going on a sports tangent. That, like, baseball has been the reason they didn't call out the Astros and say we're punishing you for doing this is because baseball.
No, there is some truth in that. There's no doubt about it. But again, Coy just fell asleep.
Conor McGregor might come back soon. I hear he's training again.
Yeah, let's get to some other stories here because there are some more. This is from Josh Wilding over at Comic Book Movie. The Marvel's mid-credit scene features the shocking MCU debut of an iconic Marvel character from a long-dead franchise, and the actor who plays them has now opened up. The Marvel's mid-credit scene, Monica Rambeau, who was stranded in an alternate universe after using her powers to seal a tear in reality created by Dar-Ben. Who's Dar-Ben? Oh, the villain.
No, that's a great question. Nobody knows.
Oh, yeah,
That's why I did that. Got you twice. Got you twice.
No.
Wakes up in a hospital bed and finds her mom staring back at her. She's initially overwhelmed with happiness, but this reunion is cut short. Doctor walks in, and it's Kelsey Grammer's Beast with the worst CGI known to man. The comic-accurate take on the hero confirms she's in a universe parallel to her own, noting it should be impossible, and leaves right after telling Maria that Charles, a.k.a. Professor X, is waiting for an update. He refers to her as binary, and when she stands up, we see the hero's impressive costume in all its glory. After the mutant demands to know who Monica is, the Earth 616 hero simply responds with, "Oh shit." It was a great note to end things on, which suggests that the X-Men will be key to Marvel Studios' multiverse saga plans. Whether this is the same world that we're going to explore in Deadpool 3 remains to be seen, of course, but in an interview with The Wrap, Grammer finally addressed his shocking MCU debut. He says, "It is my hope that you will see him again," the actor teased. "I can say with a certain amount of confidence that you will, and I would love to." After first playing Henry Hank McCoy in X-Men The Last Stand, the actor would later reprise the role in X-Men Days of Future Past. However, some VFX wizardry has created a Beast who looks like he stepped right out of the comics or X-Men the Animated Series. Grammer went on to say that he's been very pleased with the response to his appearance in the Marvels and revealed that a lot of people got in touch with him after they saw it. "I've always wanted to play him again," the Fraser Star adds. "I've seen him as an extraordinary character, a real character of gravitas and importance in our culture. I'm delighted Beast is back, and I hope he's back in a real way." Whether he's playing a new look Beast from Fox's original X-Men universe or one of the multiverse saga many variants, it's incredibly exciting to think that Grammer's interpretation of this character could be a major player not only in Deadpool 3, but the upcoming Avenger movies as well. All right, so with all that, look, this goes back, and it's not, I hate to say it's a desperation move because I just think I think they should have done this a long time ago. I think because of the success that Marvel has had, Kevin Feige, I think rightfully so at the time, was like, "I'm gonna wait for the X-Men." And I know also legalities and certain things too. I know, but he's like, "I'm just gonna ease into it." And now we're finally getting to a place where because we know how much he loves the X-Men. I just saw, so I don't know. I think you are friends with her, but a good friend
Ash's
of mine,
interview.
Ash.
Yeah, it's a great piece. She did. That was an incredible interview.
Ash did a great interview with Kevin Feige and asked about the X-Men and asked all about these things and said, "Well, we're finally getting them." And Kevin Feige was like, "Yeah, he kind of said it without saying it, and then we obviously know from the Marvels that is the case. You gotta dive into it." And once,
Deadpool's next.
I think it's next. I mean, and I think that's exactly right. I think he'll be in. I think there's going to be a lot of comedy in Deadpool. We know that, but they've got to also do what they've done in the previous ones. Like when the serious moments need to hit, they hit. And I think the X-Men shouldn't just be used as a gimmick and shouldn't be, you got to take them seriously. Otherwise, the audience won't. And by bringing them into the fold now and bringing them into the multiverse and bringing them into Secret Wars, this is a good way to do it. I do think, even though, well, you and I more so than Winston didn't love the Marvels, that post-credit scene, whether or not we love the Beast look, I think was a very important scene.
Oh, the scene is important. I just thought that there was this tweet trending of like, what a glow up between Nicholas Hoult's Beast and then the CGI new Beast, and like, I'd take the fucking suit any day. I'd like, there's no weight to him, so it bothered me, and I definitely was bothered that the first time we see the X-Men in the MCU, because we've had Ralph Bohner, not Quicksilver, like this is the first X-Men in the MCU because Xavier was multiversal. Actually, so technically Xavier would be. Anyway, it bothered me that the first time we see someone beyond Xavier in the MCU, it felt like a cartoon. Like my very first thought seeing him was like, oh, so they're just bringing the X-Men 97 cartoon into live action, like Roger Rabbit. Like I don't want the X-Men to look like a CGI fest. Like there's so much opportunity to use these characters correctly that I do worry that was rushed. I'm hoping the reason it looked rough was the rush.
I think it was the rush for sure, and I also think
I want Beast to look great. I love the
practical,
I
man,
love
practical.
the yeah, and I like the concept of what he looked like. He did look just like the comic, but he looked like a 2D comic.
It was the rush, but it also sounds like I think if it was a bigger deal, like if it was he's in the movie, he would probably sign up to be like, fine, put me through the bluing, but like
the bluing.
But if
CGI.
But if it's like you're gonna be in one scene. It is going to last maybe 2 minutes, and like we just need you like on set for like a day or two. They're not going to make him sit in 12 hours of makeup.
Right.
It's probably why he
just
wants to
that.
do it too, because
Now he knows it's like Jennifer Lawrence got less and less makeup throughout.
They're also going to have to. I don't know if you've like Kelsey Grammer is still a phenomenal actor and he looks good for his age, but Kelsey Grammer looks old.
Yeah, but you can put him in a practical suit.
Yeah, that's it. And also you can just like use the makeup to keep him like.
But there's going to be a certain amount of CGI using to de-age him.
Oh, sure.
Well,
but if you're in prosthetics,
if you're in the prosthetics, you can really look at. I mean, as I mentioned, I think the last show, and this isn't even prosthetics, but Michael Keaton, although Michael Keaton is not human in the way that he ages, but it's like, but you could tell when you got a real close, you got a real close up of him, you could tell he's aged. But for the most part, you couldn't really tell, and that was a latex suit. If he's in a Beast,
you won't see age underneath all that.
You don't even know. You could put a. I mean, he's got to be. I'm gonna guess. Alexa, how old is Kelsey Grammer? 71.
74.
Kelsey Grammer is 68 years old.
68. Okay. So running around.
You just aged the man half a decade.
Yeah.
That's probably why they didn't let me be in the Frasier reboot.
You called him 68?
That's probably why.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so-
I think it could benefit if he blew himself. You know, he'd look
He
better.
blew himself?
If he blew himself, he'd look
If
a
he
little
blew
better.
himself?
I'm just saying, if he blew himself in that, that might be better than CGI if he blew
If he
himself.
blew himself, he wouldn't have to work.
That's true. I'm jealous of everyone that can. You wouldn't leave the house.
he wouldn't just
I
be
wouldn't go
on
out of the house.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, I mean, what a life. What a charmed life. What a world. Nice comfy couch. What a world.
Listen, unbelievable. What's going on in this arena today?
You never know, but Beast was over here blowing himself.
I mean, he's acrobatic. That's the whole point of the character.
himself. It
The
was
character's
crazy.
nimble. He can.
Yeah. You talking about comic accurate. Blew himself. All right.
Talking about the mutant problem.
You got a mutant in my
And X-Gene
shorts,
does a
I think.
lot for everybody, all right? Why do you think he wears so little? He's just got that little like underwear on. He's got the little
Speak for yourself.
those whitey tighties. Just tuck it in.
All I know is when he was done, he left the Deadpool on the floor.
They don't call him a beast because he looks like that. He's a beast. It reaches.
Yeah, that's true. Oh God. I know. Now you're really gonna call me Mr. Fantastic.
Which is the whole plot
Stretch
of
it out.
the whole Mallrats thing. I always fascinated by superhero
Big
sex
Balls?
orgies.
Where's
Big Balls has something to say about it.
His
when
second
you need
mutation's that he's a tripod. He's got it.
Hey, Coy. Hey, Coy. Why don't you shut up, man? Why don't you go tweet?
That's fair.
You ready to tweet?
I'm ready to tweet. Always ready to
It's
tweet.
me and you, baby. Listen, I got something for you.
Patrons get to that level so I can be nice to people on the internet.
Don't steal my voice.
Is that I do this?
Oh my God.
Holy moly! Listen, this is
Slap Happy
this
Wednesday.
is nuts. This is nuts. This is nuts.com. If you go to nuts.com, you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy nuts.com. Nuts.com.
Oh, yeah. Nuts.com, baby. Oh, I love my nuts. Nuts.com. Come on, tell me about it.
Is that a sponsor?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Nuts.com.
No, because I've heard of nuts.com and I was like, I heard of nuts.com. You were just out here in these streets talking about go to nuts.com. I was just making sure.
Nuts.com, baby. Nuts.com. And
You
I'll
gotta
tell
get that bag for it.
And you get
Just
so
saying it.
excited. You're so excited your hair might fall out. And if that's the case, you better use NUTRAFOL.
Thank you, Big Boss. Let me tell you about both nuts.com and NUTRAFOL right now. This is the best. Nuts. Get off my nuts. Don't touch my nuts. I love these nuts. I love them. Listen, you ever been to a candy store? You ever been to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? Probably not the last one, but you can get something close. Check this out, nuts.com. Maybe you can't get to the chocolate factory, but I'll get you close enough. The online version of that is nuts.com. Besides just having a lot of great nuts, they have classic candies. They got butterscotch, they got fudge, and licorice. Cashews, almonds, pecans, pistachios, dried mango, crystallized ginger, dates, jelly beans, jawbreakers, root beer barrels. It goes on and on and on at nuts.com. I was so excited to have them come along. I mean, look at that. That's what I got. That's what I've been eating. That's what I've been chewing on. Yeah, and even that little fat pug that I love so much, he loves it too.
Although he can't really eat nuts, but he loves smelling them. Nuts.com is your one-stop shop for freshly roasted nuts, dried fruits, sweets, pantry staples like specialty flours, and much more. They have a wide selection and means that there's something for everyone. At Nuts.com, quality, top priority. They roast their nuts and they pop their corn the same day that it ships. They reach you deliciously fresh. Satisfaction is guaranteed, and I can be a testament. Right now, I'm snacking on these because I love these almonds. They're really good. And I know, not ideal when you're telling people about stuff to have food in your face, but I can't stand it to keep them away from me. They're right in front of my face. I have to eat Nuts.com. So, again, stay away from my nuts. Get your own nuts. Nuts.com. So listen to this deal. Right now, Nuts.com is offering new customers a free gift with purchase and free shipping on orders for $29 or more at Nuts.com/bigthing. So if you check out all the delicious options at Nuts.com/bigthing, you're going to get a free gift and free shipping if you spend $29 or more. Nuts.com/bigthing. Yes, there are a lot more nuts jokes I could have made. Don't be embarrassed. Don't do it. Listen, did you know that 80% of men will experience hair thinning in their lifetime? It's normal, guys. But it doesn't have to be your fate. You can get ahead of thinning with NUTRAFOL. NUTRAFOL is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. NUTRAFOL's hair growth supplements use physician-formulated, natural, science-backed ingredients. Their drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your sexual health. Go to Nutrafol.com/men to take their Hair Wealth Wellness Quiz. Identify causes of your thinning hair, and Nutrafol will give you a personalized plan for better hair health through whole-body wellness. It works. In a clinical study, 84% of men showed improvement in their hair after 6 months taking Nutrafol men's hair growth supplements. Everybody feels this way as you're getting older. You're like, oh man, am I the only one? Why is this happening to me? This and that. We're in an age now where you can get it helped. You can get it fixed. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men, but you have to enter that promo code BIGTHING. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men. Nutrafol.com/men and enter that code BIGTHING. That's Nutrafol.com/men, promo code BIGTHING. All right, thank you to our friends over at Nuts.com and Nutrafol. Again, I can tell you, my wife was like, hey, we got to get both my mother and my father. We're going to Nuts.com. We're getting cashews. We're getting almonds. There's a bunch of stuff. There's sweets. There's all of it. They got it all. It's incredible. Sign on over, and man, talk about getting lucky on a URL. So there you go, guys. Sign up today, and Nutrafol is the best. They're going to be with us for a bit. I was very excited to find that out the other day. They're going to be with us for a little bit, so we love Nutrafol. Thanks for joining us, guys, for the wonderful sponsors that we have. Let's get into a few more of these stories. All right, Captain America: Brave New World. The movie was delayed, and now there's some new details about exactly why Marvel Studios has delayed the film. This is from Josh Wilding again over at Comic Book Movie. Captain America: Brave New World was pushed back until 2025, and a new rumor claims to shed some light on why Marvel Studios decided to significantly delay Sam Wilson's highly anticipated return. Captain America: The First Avenger was a solid introduction for the MCU Steve Rogers, but the Star-Spangled Avengers franchise didn't fully find its footing until The Winter Soldier. However, by the time Civil War rolled around, Cap's movies were every bit as monumental to the wider MCU as the Avengers. As a result, we're not exactly surprised to learn that Marvel Studios is looking to make Captain America: Brave New World as epic as possible. With the strikes causing chaos in Hollywood, the decision was made to push Deadpool 3 until July. As work on the next Captain America movie was believed to be largely finished, the expectation was that it might take back its original slot in May. Instead, the movie was pushed back to 2025. Now we have some new insights on why that happened. According to scooper Daniel Rickman, Marvel Studios decided the Brave New World's action scenes were neither big nor satisfying enough compared to the franchise's previous installments. That makes me nervous. That makes me nervous.
There have been rumblings about reshoots adding new set pieces, so we can believe this. Despite getting a taste of sci-fi with the Cloverfield Paradox, director Julius Ona is a newcomer to the action realm, though the same would have been said of the Russo brothers when they were tapped to helm the Winter Soldier. Ultimately, it sounds like Brave New World just needs to up the ante. It's still a little surprising to hear this in some ways, particularly as we're expecting Sam Wilson to square off with members of the Serpent Society and even Red Hulk, with President Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross transforming into his monstrous alter ego. We recently learned that, similar to both Sam and Steve's respective comic book counterparts, the Oval Office will likely have an active role in how Captain America protects his nation. Unfortunately for this Avenger, it won't be too different from how Steve was used as part of the USO during his earliest days wielding the shield. To put it simply, he's been benched. A reliable scooper said of why we haven't seen Sam since the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. President Ross thinks that Sam's time as Captain America is better suited for publicity, while Sam knows he's meant to be in the field. They go on to add, and that is just the tip of the iceberg to their conflict.
Oh, dude. I didn't realize Carl was back. I'm so excited.
The movie stars Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford, Danny Ramirez, Carl Lumbly, Tim Blake Nelson, Shira Haas, Liv Tyler, and Seth Rollins. Okay, so I get it in one aspect where it's a Marvel movie. They don't feel it's... If it played like a spy thriller, though, and it was smaller and it played like say like a Bourne movie.
Yeah, like Winter Soldier did.
Yeah, but Winter Soldier had some big...
Oh, it does, but
moments,
like I think they were talking more Civil War, where they're like escalation, it has to be
yeah,
big.
If it
like
was smaller, if it was like a smaller movie...
It's got a lot of Hulks in it.
I'm just so over the top
Same.
nonsense.
Well, I mean, if we know that the big thing that's been happening, no pun intended, is that they are moving towards having a reset. And not like a reset of all the storylines, but that like the Marvels was the last bastion of what has happened, and we're trying to adjust where we're going.
But this doesn't this seem like same old, same old? Let's make it bigger, better, grander.
But again, they may have said they're adding bigger fight scenes or whatever, but they didn't say that we're throwing a bajillion more dollars into the movie. They're just saying
But
that
you have to, though.
But that also could be a cover, because when have they openly admitted, yo, y'all, we've been screwing up? They have not said that, so it's easier to go under cloud cover of we're adding more fight scenes than it is to like be like, hey, we're actually making tweaks. Because now all of a sudden Kang, no one says that Kang was in this, but the talk that apparently we're done with Kang. What if there was an element in there that was involved?
Maybe,
you know what I mean?
Maybe, but I'll tell you, I would have rather heard a report of something along the lines of they watched it, they don't feel that the characters are developed strong enough yet. They're going back to add a few more scenes that adds a little bit more weight to the characters and add a little more
that would
emotion
worry
to
me more. Because then that means that you really didn't know what you were doing if you didn't take the time to make sure that all of this was properly flushed out with your story and where the characters are going. Now that you're bringing Ross in as a Hulk, you didn't get that down.
No, but see, but that would go into your previous point. Your previous point of they knew at this point, like they were in this, they were going toward this one trajectory of where they were going to go. And it was bigger, grander. Look at all these big action pieces and everything that we've done. The old school, like, just shove popcorn in your face and watch a Marvel movie. And then they realized, wait a minute, that plan isn't working. Let's work on the characters a little bit more. Let's work on the emotion a little bit more.
I get that. I guess I would just be more concerned if they realized that late in the game and they decided to then save that versus if you just tell me you're adding more fight scenes, then like it's cloud cover.
6 months though. This is like Endgame shot in 6 months. These reshoots are the length of Endgame.
They're trying to make it too big. They're trying to make it too big.
Did I miss that part that they said these are going to be 6 months of reshoots?
That was the first announcement.
But they're also pushing it back because they're pushing it back so far.
I heard it was 6 months of reshoots.
Okay, I didn't know that they were doing 6 months of reshoots. I genuinely was under just the impression that because of the strikes, because of everything that's going on, it's just like we just want to like.
It doesn't sound like a touch-up paint job. They're waxing it down.
Seems
to the
like
primer.
they're making a new movie.
Yeah, like this is and to me, we've heard rumor confirmation that Sentry, Stephen Yeun is going to be playing Sentry. I'm curious. The plot to me seems to be we have a Captain America that's been benched. He is a symbolic entity for the president, Harrison Ford, who's going to be upset that he comes out and wants to fight, and that's why he hasn't been fighting. And then to me, it's going to be these super soldiers that are all in the Thunderbolts team have all these super soldier issues, and they're all going to be revealed as villains. I think the Hulk element is going to be the Jekyll and Hyde of, well, if you have a super soldier, then you can basically go bad, like things can go wrong. I think Sentry is going to represent, because in the comic, Sentry has this thing called the Void, where he is good as Sentry and pure evil, and the pure evil tries to negate all the good that Sentry does. I think Sentry is going to basically represent the worst case scenario, even beyond a Hulk. So I think they're going to show that Sam Wilson, even without the super soldier serum, he's the only Cap that didn't need to take it. He's a guy that doesn't need powers to be a part of this. That all leads to Thunderbolts and showing the dangers of super soldier stuff. That's all the plot to me. What concerns me is that plot doesn't need a lot of giant fights. Like, that plot seems to me like if you add a lot of giant spectacle, then it becomes a thinner and thinner and leaner plot. Like, if Sentry gets so overpowered, they're going to have to end him in Thunderbolts because he's going to be too powerful like Captain Marvel. Like, the one thing I thought the Marvels did really well with the powers is, how do you have a character as OP as Carol Danvers in the world? Oh, you make it so if they use her powers, she teleports. That keeps her powers at a reasonable level. Sentry, you can't kneecap them or everyone's going to be like, oh, they wasted Sentry. So my concern, because of Thunderbolts using Sentry seemingly, and Cap 4 having this storyline that I've pieced together is bigger and bigger and bigger, is, oh, no.
So the other thing that I'm kind of thinking, though, especially if you're talking other fight scenes, I remember, I haven't read the full report, but I've like seen the headlines that supposedly, I believe the character's pronounced Saba or Sabra, something like that, which is an Israeli superhero, is no longer in the film, just based off of a lot of things that are going on politically right now. So there's also possibility, especially if it was called, they had to rewrite certain things out entirely, and that would change the film in a lot of ways if that was going to be a major part of the movie.
So maybe it's more so than just the big action scenes.
And that is the cover, like you're suggesting, because it's an easier thing to say.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe there are big action scenes, but it's also included in what we were talking about as well, because it's just essentially, as we said,
I just worry they're going
movie.
more Hulk smash, because because to me the plot that I think it is can get really thin really quick if they just make it all action.
Well, I mean, there's also the question is, do they have confidence in Anthony Mackie leading a film? You know, because I thought he's been great. I thought he was great in the TV show, and I thought he was great in the role that he had for everything that he did in Infinity War, and I mean all the Marvel stuff that he was in. But he hasn't led a movie yet. Leading a movie, his
movies are smaller usually. Yes. I know he just did Twisted Metal, which people like a lot. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
Really, people like it.
People love.
People are
that
like a big
really?
surprise. I haven't seen a frame, but that's what I hear.
I heard. I can't even tell you how many people told me that I need to check that.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, like when I get Peacock, I'm going to be checking it out.
I heard it's really
I guess
good.
I'll check it out.
Because I love Twisted Metal like a lot. That's why I didn't watch it.
Why would we do? And I remember seeing the trailer, and I was like, "What the hell?"
I couldn't share it, but I was like,
"Yeah, I'm sorry that show." I had so many people reach out to me and go, "You've got to." They said, "I can't believe how much fun I had watching that show."
I saw Cisco at Comic-Con, and it was during the strike, so I couldn't share the excitement. But it was Twisted Metal's, like the ice cream truck with Cisco singing Sweet Tooth's ice cream truck, and Cisco is singing the thong song, and I was like, I'm now invested. But then everyone said it's great.
But again, TV show. What movie has he led yet?
He did The Endless with Justin and Aaron, who did Loki, but that's an indie.
Now, I'm not saying that he's not going to be able to do it.
Sure.
I feel like he's going to be able to do it. The question is it because it's you guys know, and no matter what it is, if you're co-hosting a show with somebody and then you're hosting a show,
different.
It's very different. And the question is and you know, people have gone to that level of like, okay, I'm here. Can you make the step up? I think he can. But the question is it, you know, can he do it? Can he not do? Do you think that he can do it?
I can't think of a movie he's led that's bigger than an indie. As long as he doesn't have to battle rap Eminem, I think he's fine.
Yeah. So funny. They didn't even give him a chance to do that. It's hilarious. Do you think he can do it, Winston?
Yeah, I think he has the, you know, it's funny. I have such mixed feelings in the sense that I do think that he has the acting ability to do it. I think the thing that'll be interesting, when I first started doing interviews, I wasn't allowed to interview him because there was a point in time where he refused to meet with any black media outlets because there was a situation that went down and black people were like kind of clowning him a little bit. So he just said, "Fine, I'm just not going to talk to any of you." And so he sometimes can be that kind of
Yeah, I
like.
remember he had that whole thing with Frosty too.
You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, he's got a famous thing with Frosty.
Oh wow.
Him and Frosty went at it. Yeah, and he got
So that would be the only thing that might make me go. Only in the sense that, like, I think about, like, say, for example, Chris Evans, who had that mantle. He's like one of the most personable
He's just so
people
friendly and talks to everybody
on the planet. There have been plenty of times where, whether it be with like media outlets, I guess Frosty, I don't know that whole situation or whatever,
That's
that
crazy.
maybe there is a little bit of some headbutting going on with like the media and whatnot. And if that's the case, then that might make it a little tricky too. But he knows he'd have to be on his best behavior. You're literally taking the Captain America down.
Captain America.
But I think that's different than what I'm talking. I'm talking about as far as like when you're. I mean, because
in the film context.
Because in PR, you know, that's when you have your. That's also going to be on Marvel and Disney to just
finagle.
Maneuver PR.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix hasn't done any PR for. And the strike's over, but he hasn't done any PR for Napoleon.
So I mean, I'm just wondering, you know, like because you don't have. Because the 1-2 kind of Riggs Murtaugh of him and Sebastian Stan was great.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
And then he doesn't have that.
Right.
So,
and Harrison Ford, known for loving press.
Right. But you know the thing is, though, but Harrison Ford crushes press.
Oh, when he
has
cares.
to do it.
Well, he crushes press as soon as he respects the press. Like, if someone asks a dumb first question, he tunes out, but he will give everyone a chance. And that's why I love Harrison Ford interviews.
It was one of my favorite interviews.
Same. I've talked to him, and every time that light bulb turns on, you're like, oh, I earned this.
So
and I prefer that to someone just giving me sound bites.
Yeah, I do think that Anthony Mackie will be able to lead the movie, and I think he's going to. But I do think that it goes back to what we were just saying. And that is they're probably writing a different movie. They're probably writing
I think the stakes are so high at Marvel right now. It's like, it's not quite Superman Legacy, but the first thing after Deadpool is Cap 4. And I have full faith in Deadpool, but if they're rewriting Cap 4, it better be great.
All right. So what do you guys think? Do you think that we're making a big deal out of nothing, reshoots? Or do you think that, they're retooling this whole thing? And maybe, again, one of the things we didn't really cover is that maybe this is really for the best because they're going to rewrite a whole different movie. They're going to write the character stuff and the emotion and all that, and they're going to add some big pieces, and this is going to be kind of like the Marvel of old. What say you? Make sure your voices are known. All right, listen. The one thing we didn't really talk about, I don't know if we talked about it the first time because I can't remember if you were on the show at the time. We talked about Aquaman a little bit. Didn't we talk about the last Aquaman trailer together?
The trailer,
the first
you and I texted about, but the strike was still on.
It was still on at the time when you weren't talking about it. So the second trailer to me was significantly better than...
It had personality.
It had personality. It didn't change my opinion that I think that the superhero stuff looks fairly generic, but it gave me a little bit more hope because it had more heart to it. When it opened with him holding the kid, I went right into, is this Thor: Love and Thunder? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't. It was like a nice sweet moment with him and the kid, and then they kind of show and like I said, everything else it's the same conversation I think that we've had about the stuff in Miss Marvel that was great was the family. The stuff that was great in Blue Beetle was the family. The stuff that looks good in this is the family. And then you get to the villain wants to take over the world and take over then, and it's what's going to happen. The brother's going to wind up sacrificing himself. And it's the same old beats that we've seen a billion times over. But the trailer was significantly better. Did you feel similar, worse?
I mean, yeah, I think it looks better. I know that retconned from the rest of the MCU, Thor: The Dark World looked better, but that was the immediate thought in my mind. It kind of felt like Loki's immediate...
the plot of.
Yeah, it's Loki's immediate redemption and by working with Thor, still up to no good, but like, a little bit better. There's a lot of similarities there. So... that was the element of that movie that I enjoyed the most, other than Meow Meow. But like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if I'm getting a similar kind of making up buddy cop between the two of them, I think it'll work pretty well. And because again, you're tapping into the whole family element of it, because then that becomes the trump card that's what we're focusing on. So
all right, Corey, what do you think?
I think it's going to be fun. I definitely still worry that it's, we're at a point where we've seen these beats. So, I mean, Thor: Dark World wasn't any of our favorites, but like we've seen this movie before. I do think what's going to save it is Momoa being amazing. I think Patrick Wilson is super slept on. That guy just pops up and he always brings some weight to it. Like the fact that he can get away with saying Ocean Master. I'm like, that guy is an Ocean Master. He's got a thing where he gets the assignment in everything he does. There's a reason Conjurings do so well.
Yeah.
Like I think that we talk about certain actors as like that guy. Patrick Wilson should be on that list more often. So I'm excited to see the two of them play. That said, I would have rather a Trench movie with Yaya. Like every time I see anything with Yaya's Black Manta, I'm like that. Like
They're
so
gonna do that, yeah.
that's exciting because there is a little bit more of that in the trailer. But I hope they can balance the mustache twirling of the story they have to tell with Black Manta with letting Yaya be the actor he is.
I think what also is the thing is that what this movie is going to rely on, I know this is always relies on that, but it's really going to rely on the casual movie fan that wants to see a movie during the holidays.
That looks like Avatar, like that big spectacle.
Yeah, because
they leaned heavily in the Avatar flavor.
They did, and the reason why they need that is because I think a lot of the fans that are paying attention to what's going on in this world are like, well, this is the last DC movie.
Right.
It doesn't
They
mean
need people
anything.
that aren't invested.
They need people that just want to go and see a movie.
But what's so weird to me is that they're cannibalizing their own market because Wonka's the same demo and it's also Warner Brothers. Like what
It's not the same market though.
Aren't they? But wouldn't you say they're both like 12 to 18?
I would have.
Until the Wonka trailer.
I can only say that I saw the Wonka.
Oh, I forgot.
That's
okay,
right.
but I think but going off of not having seen it, 12 to 18 is the trailer. Like you're literally your
12 to
own.
18, I mean, sure.
But that's what Warner Brothers is eating their own like market. Like why split it? You know, it seems weird that
it is weird that it's so close. There are two Warner Brothers movies for sure, but
the only two big Christmas movies are both the same studio. That's odd.
I think because what they're gonna do is they're gonna play way more. Because I think I could, if I needed to, I could take my 6-year-old to see Wonka. I couldn't take her to see Aquaman.
Okay, I see. So, but I think hopefully the trailers shift that way by the time we get to it.
We'll see. What say you guys? Lots of stuff. We talked about a lot today, whether it's Superman or the X-Men or anything that we talked about here today. NUTS.com. We're going to talk about. Go ahead and leave your comments. Let us know exactly what it was. And I hope that your food coma is doing good. I hope that you guys are doing well. I know we're a day past Thanksgiving, but I'm thankful for you guys. Thanks for everybody who's been a part of it. Thanks for my friends here, Winston and Coy. Speaking of which, Winston, where can the good people find you?
Yo, you can go find me at the Swaggy Blurred on all of the platforms. You can see me on Game Time with John Roca on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. But this comes out normally, 10 a.m. on Friday?
It depends on me editing it.
Okay, so
Give or take.
if this is past 10 a.m. on Friday around noon, you should see some videos up from me, some more of my CPT reviews. So go check that out over on my YouTube channel.
If you want me on audio, check out Koicast. If you want me on video, check out Real Rejects, New Rockstars in here. And if you want me in person, December 2nd, if you're in LA, we're going to be doing a Flappers comedy show. I'm very excited with these gentlemen right here. Going to be slinging some yucks. And I'm really excited to play before the end of the year. So hunt us down there because I'm really, now that it's about a week away, I am elated. It's around the corner.
Listen, if you are going to be in Burbank, let's sell this thing out. If you're anywhere near California, let's sell this thing out. It's going to be the big party of the year. It's going to be all of us. We're going to have a good time. It's just stand-up comedy, cracking jokes. Who knows what Coy's going to say? So let's go. Let's have a fun time, guys. Be there. And thank you for joining us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. We'll see you next time.